Hey, it's Mina of Mina Nix Tarot, and welcome back to my channel. In today's Pick a Card video, we will go over your personal life purpose, or what you were meant to learn and develop during this lifetime, as well as your global life purpose. We will also talk about how to best use some strengths that you have, as well as how to develop some strengths that may be hidden to you right now. Remember, today's reading is a general reading, and if you'd like me to tune into your specific energies, please check out some of the readings that I offer at my website at www.minanixtarot.com. If you're drawn to more than one pile, that's okay. You can pick as many piles as you need to. In fact, that's usually your spirit guides trying to create a more specific reading just for you. Before you choose a pile, take a deep breath and release any expectations of what you think this reading may hold. And when you open your eyes, you can pick pile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And if you need an additional object to help you pick, here are some board games you can use to help you choose. Pile number 1, Star Wars Battleship. Pile number 2, Disney Edition Sorry. Pile number 3, The Game of Life. Pile number 4, Uno. Pile number 5, Scattergories. And pile number 6, Taboo. Choose the game you'd most like to play right now, or pick a pile from before with your intuition. Pause this video for as long as you need to choose your pile. The groups will be time-stamped in the description box below, so grab your mug of coffee or tea and read some tarot with me. Hi, group number 1. If you chose Battleship, this is the reading for you. So we're going to start off by talking about your strengths. One of your major strengths is the 9 of Pentacles, and that just means that you're pretty great with money and staying in an abundance mindset. You're fairly financially independent. Now, a strength you have that you may not be aware of is the Lizard. You're highly empathetic and kind of a dreamer. People who are closest to you might even call you telepathic because sometimes it seems like you can sort of read their mind. But occasionally that strength will get blocked to you, and let's see why. You have the Death card in reverse, blocking out that strength. If you're struggling to connect to your empathy or struggling to access your telepathy skills, it's probably because you're going through an intense transformation and you're not asking for the help that you need during this time. I would very much advise you to seek out someone who's been through a spiritual transformation and make sure you stay in contact with them so that you can get what you need moving forward. Let's talk about how you could best utilize your strength, the Wolf. Another way to get more empathetic is to join a humanitarian effort. So teaching others will allow you to express your gift. Be sure that you're being tolerant of all types of people. Practice letting go of control of what you think others might need and try to be what others ask you to be. So instead of saying, yeah, I know that's what they want, but what I really want to do for them is XYZ, try to really listen to what people need and give them that. Now that we know some of your strengths and how you can better utilize your strengths, I want to move into your personal life purpose, which is the 4 of Cups reversed and Scold reversed. Okay, so looking at these two cards together, I would say that your personal life purpose is to learn how to align yourself with what you truly want. Do not say to yourself, good things will only come to me after I've endured intense struggle, because what you're doing is you're creating a situation where intense struggle is going to keep happening for you again and again. Learn to be compassionate to yourself, but also to others. Learn to be grateful with what you have so that you can receive it even more. So I think this is also a message that's just echoing this Wolf card up here. Let's talk about what your purpose is going to be on a global scale. So we have the Octopus and the King of Pentacles reversed. I would say globally, your life purpose is to combine your intelligence with your intuition to help those who are feeling stuck in their current life situation. You're going to be able to help them push past the notion that everything should be perfect in order for them to be able to move forward to the next stage in life. And you're also going to be a great source of information for people who are stuck in some unhealthy relationships or situations. You're going to be able to help them logic their way out of those things because you're so smart. So moving on to your spiritual guidance, we have Arianton and strength. So this is what your guides want you to know. Oh, so your guides are saying that you actually have a lot more strength than you even realize that you have. And you already have the tools to get what you want out of life. Your guides want you to know you need to make sure you practice patience and trust that everything is going to be coming to you at the perfect time that it's supposed to be coming to you, and try not to rush any processes. And the last question I wanted to answer for you is how to start moving towards your path. And for that, you got the Eight of Cups reversed. The Eight of Cups reversed, I would say you might have the tendency to be rather indecisive, and your indecision kind of stops you from really fully dreaming. So realize that you have time to pause and think about what you want before you just dive into the first thing that pops into your brain. And then once you've centered yourself and you've connected with your guides and you've tried reaching out and you've tried all these service activities, and you've tried helping others and building up your empathy, then you're going to be able to connect with your guides much more fully. And at that point, that's when I would suggest you going for any dreams that may have not come to fruition in the past. Because right now I can tell you're feeling like walking away from everything, but I see, and from what the other cards I'm seeing here, is that I think you might have a chance to try to live that dream again if it's something that you still want after you recenter yourself. Those are all the messages I have for you today, Group 1. I hope this resonated with you, and if it did, please leave me a comment down below to tell me how it resonated. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any other videos that I post. See you later! Hi, pile number 2, or the sorry group. This is what your life purpose is. I want to start off this reading by talking about some strengths that you have already. So one strength that you can really use towards your advantage is the Ten of Cups. You have the ability to create harmony between people and in different situations, and you truly love others totally and completely, and you are also a fantastic romantic partner. So you've probably heard your whole life, like, you're the perfect boyfriend, you're the perfect girlfriend. I wouldn't be surprised if that's common for you. A hidden strength that you may not be aware of is the hawk. You're a fairly detail-oriented person, but you can also see the big picture. You can sometimes act as a mouthpiece of the divine for those around you, and spirit guides can use you to talk through them. So keep that in mind, that if you feel that urge to tell people around you something specific, even if you don't know that person very well, or even if it's kind of a random thing, then it's probably spirit guides of that person trying to use you to get messages through. So a potential thing that could be blocking that strength from you, if you're not experiencing that strength, is the Ace of Wands in reverse. And what's happening is that gift is being blocked because you're so distracted by the things going on in life. I'm hearing that you tend to put romance and partner's needs above your own needs and your own gifts and your own spiritual practice. Remember that you deserve love and care, and you deserve a spiritual aspect to your life. And in fact, I think that you'll find you'll be more attractive to those that you date if you do have a strong foundation on your spirituality and you are confident in that aspect of your life. Ways that you can utilize your strengths: the spider. When the spider shows up, we know that we need to be more process oriented instead of results oriented. You may be wandering around thinking, oh man, if I put out this YouTube video, for example, I hope that I'm going to get 12,000 people to subscribe to my channel. But really, this spider is telling you, don't be so concerned with the results. Dive more deeply into the process of what you've gained from making that video and what it's given you and what it might give to others, instead of the actual act of, becoming more famous based on that. Anything that is worth having in life takes some time to build up. So engage in creativity, not for financial gain, but just for the love of it. And you'll soon see that financial gain will follow you as long as you're enjoying yourself. Okay, so now that we know some of your strengths and how to utilize them better, I wanted to dive into what your personal life purpose is. So, what your soul came to this earth to do. So, we have Hera and the Two of Cups in reverse. Okay, so I can see that your personal life purpose is to seek out and create deep and meaningful connections with others. You're going to be able to learn from people that are much wiser than you. And then one day you'll be cultivating kind of your own following of people that you're going to teach to connect deeper to their spirituality. First, you have to learn with being happy with just yourself. So, if you are going through a time where you have been single for a long period of time, or you're in a relationship and you just don't feel like you're able to connect with your loved one right now, it is probably the universe's way of trying to get you to understand that you need to be happy with just you, that your whole identity can't be wrapped up in someone else, because you have a bigger mission here in this life to help others connect with their spirituality, which means you kind of need to start connecting to your spirituality more. If you're prone to jumping from one relationship to the next, it's time to take a break and figure out why you're not trusting yourself more. All right, let's talk about a global purpose. So, what are you supposed to accomplish on the grand scale of life, or what kind of purpose do you have for helping others? And for that, we got the Hangman and the Snake. When I read and I see the Hangman, it usually tells me that you have all the tools that you need to get yourself out of the situation that you're currently in and move forward, but you're just kind of holding out for a hero, when in fact the hero is actually you. You're more than capable of getting yourself out of the situation, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. I would definitely suggest recentering and doing some meditation to figure out how that can work, or even writing down your dreams after they happen to see if there's some answers from spirit guides that you're not aware of that's going on. Your guides are saying that you have so much more potential than you're letting yourself believe. They want you to dive deeper into meditation and yoga. Once you dive more into meditation and yoga, then you're going to be able to better communicate with your guides more directly. And in turn, you're going to be able to teach others how to connect with their guides on a global scale. So here's some messages that your spirit guides wanted to give you. Oh, it's the Hangman again, and the goddess Nike. The Hangman popped up in your reading twice, which means that is a message we need to really pay attention to. So they are reiterating again that if you're stuck in an unhealthy pattern, you are the one who's going to be able to get you out of that pattern. You are more than capable of getting yourself out, no matter how stuck you feel at the moment. I'm also hearing that you could be stuck in just one part of life, like focus too much on your career, or focus too much on your relationship, or focus too much on your kids, or focus too much on, I don't know, maybe growing your spirituality. And that's kind of putting you in a situation where you have this tunnel vision and you're not able to open up to all of the other opportunities that are surrounding you in your life. Nike is a goddess who tells us to cheer people on. We should be reveling in other people's success. And when we see someone who has moved forward from us, ask them for advice, ask them for help. There's nothing wrong with that. Usually, people are more than willing to talk about themselves and talk about how they got to where they are. So, if you see someone who has something you want, strike up a conversation with them and figure out how you can get that thing too. And how to start walking your life purpose path is the Knight of Swords in reverse. There seems to be a little bit of worry and anxiety as you're dwelling on something in particular, and you have been for some time, which has made you miss an opportunity to seize your destiny. But don't get super concerned about that, and certainly don't beat yourself up about it. We all from time to time get a little too tunnel vision and we miss out on a big opportunity that the universe is giving us. If that opportunity is still meant for you after you go back and center yourself and connect with your guides again, then that opportunity will appear again. So don't get too stressed out about it. You'll get another chance if it's meant to be. All right, that's all the messages I'm getting for you, pile number 2. I hope this resonates with you, and if it does, go ahead and leave me a comment down below or like this video. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any other pick a card videos. Bye! Hi, pile number three, or the Game of Life group. This is your life purpose reading. I wanted to start out the reading by going over some of the strengths that you already have. The first one I want to talk about is the Queen of Wands, and that's a strength you're probably pretty familiar with. I would say you're a fairly confident person. You're pretty courageous. You're a social butterfly, but you also know how to enjoy your independence. You enjoy being alone. The Queen of Wands represents the Leo sign in astrology. I would say you're sort of the king or queen of your jungle, as it were. A strength that you have that may be hidden from you is the dragonfly. Right now your brain just seems a little bit jumbled and like it can't really focus on one thing for too long, but in reality you have this ability to have a very calm mind that receives higher wisdom from above quite easily. So let's see what might be blocking that ability. The Queen of Cups in reverse. So what's creating that jumble is a focus on some superficial matters. And you could also be assuming that your intuitive growth should be far much more progressed by now. And you're sitting here like, when am I going to really get success with contacting my guides, or when will I start to have some more spiritual gifts? I think it's time for you to find maybe an emotionally mature type of spiritual person that you can connect to, or some other older person who has a little bit more life experience that you can rely on and ask questions for. I think that's going to be invaluable for you moving forward. Also, I would say change what media you're taking in. Make sure that you're mixing in books, movies, and TV shows with a lot of value and some deeper concepts in there as well. That way you're sort of surrounding yourself with less superficial items and deep and giving yourself the opportunity to experience deeper and more fulfilling media as well. Okay, a better way to utilize your strengths is the crow. So once your mind is clear, I would say put your attention back on your values to attempt to develop your supernatural gifts, because I can tell you right now that you are very psychic. Remember that your vibe attracts your tribe, and you want to make sure that your tribe is helping you on your path and not holding you down from getting to your life path. I'm also hearing if there's some sort of topic that you've been really interested in learning, but you've been sort of holding back because it's not what you think those around you would want you to explore, I'm hearing it is now time to dive into that topic and start learning about whatever it is. Regardless if this topic is something that would be helpful to you during school or work, I would say still learn about this topic because you're going to find some sort of invaluable resource to you during that time. There's a reason why you are drawn to learning about it. Okay, so let's dive into the meat of this video. Now that we know what your strengths are, we can talk about how you're going to use those strengths to walk your life purpose. And I wanted to start off with your personal life purpose, which is the Goddess Yi and the Lover's card. So you're here in this lifetime to learn more about your moral code. Not surprising, since a lot of these cards up here were about that as well. Take up meditation in a group setting and make sure that you're doing some more of your spiritual activities with a group, because I think that partnering up or being in a group will help you to develop these things much more fully. You want to surround yourself with like-minded friends, it's saying again, and you're going to learn to trust the information coming into you. So because you're so confident and you exude confidence, know that you're going to attract some negative entities as well at times. But don't let those people get you down, because there's going to be a lot of people that are wonderful, bright stars just like you who are also going to be pulled in by your courage and your confidence. You are meant to teach the world how to embrace joy and truly be confident. So keep on shining on, my friend. And that brings me to what I want to talk about next, which is your global life purpose. So what you're here to do for the world, which is the Ace of Pentacles and the Hummingbird. Interesting. So I think that you might end up opening up your own spiritual business of some sort. You may open up some sort of social help type of business, or a spiritual business or something in the way of helping people develop their spirituality and expressing themselves creatively. You're going to be pretty instrumental in providing people with answers to all their different curiosities. I think that you will either be a spiritual teacher or you're going to be someone who facilitates students and teachers in a way that allows them to be able to create themselves more fully. And I definitely see it being pretty abundant for you. All right, so let's talk about what your guides want you to know. The Five of Swords and Artemis reversed. Your guides are saying that you're trying really hard to force life fulfillment in one particular area, and you may be saying, like, I want it to go exactly like this, I want the outcome to be this, and I want it to happen in this time frame. And that's all good and well, and I'm sure that if you've learned anything about the law of attraction or manifestation, you're just trying to follow the teachings of some of those things that you've researched. But just be aware that your guides are trying to say that they actually have maybe a different path or a better plan for you than you even realize is happening. And you're so hyper focused on your exact plan that you're missing out on a lot of opportunities they're throwing your way. It's almost like you're over manifesting in one area, and so you're missing all of the other great things in another area. They're saying, like, we're trying to give you a bunch of love and success, and you're just so focused on winning this one particular thing that you really can't see it. So relax your attention on your deepest desire for right now, kind of let that go and see what other doors are opening up for you, because that's the path they're wanting you to take right now. That was very specific. Usually they're not that specific. Okay. And so how you can start walking towards your path, the Three of Cups. So they're just reiterating this concept that spiritual gatherings or learning spirituality in a group setting is what's going to be best for you in particular, and it's what's going to bring you the most abundance financially even. Embrace spiritual friends and opportunities and be sure that you're learning from others whenever you can. Those are all the messages I have channeling in for you, group number 3. If this resonates with you, don't forget to comment down below and like this video. Subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any videos in the future. Bye! Hi, pile number 4, or the Uno group, if that's the game you chose. This is your life purpose reading. I wanted to start off by going over some of the strengths that you already have towards your life purpose. And the first one is the Hermit. So you're already very good at listening to your inner guidance system. You're fairly introspective, you're realistic about who you are as a person. One of the strengths that might be blocked for you right now is the Eagle. You actually are going to have the ability to deal with long-term karmic issues and resolve them in this lifetime, which is incredible in helping your spirit move on to bigger and better things within this lifetime and the next ones. So in this lifetime, you are going to be pushed to be the best and the strongest that you can be. But do note that this path can lead to quite a bit of pain, and I'm sure that you've experienced some pretty significant traumas prior to you watching this video. Things are going to get more painful before they get better. So the reason why you have to go through the pain is to help you release some of your old negative patterns and to be able to step you forward spiritually onto the path that you're supposed to be on. It's time to stop being so controlling and to step into the uncomfortable so that you're going to be able to grow in the future. Part of spiritual growth, you go through a portion of pain and trauma and releasing some negative patterns, and then it slowly starts to kind of expand and get better and better. And you'll see your spiritual gifts grow as well in that way. So something that could be blocking this from coming out exactly the way it should be is the Three of Swords. The grief and pain from your past is holding you back from letting go of that control. So this is like ties really well into the Eagle card here. You've had your heart broken, and while you're good at retreating and going within, you're actually kind of unaware of how capable you are of facing down the demons that you're hiding from currently. It's okay to stay back to relax and rest once we've been hurt, but we can't stick there forever. We have to keep going through these processes of karmic release in order to move further down our path. Ways to utilize your strengths is the Firefly. So whenever you feel that spark of inspiration, or you think of a new idea, or you get that creative urge, just stop what you're doing and do it. Do it before you talk yourself out of it. Do it before you tell yourself, oh, I don't have time for this right now. It's time to start really expressing yourself, and it's time to start trusting that your ideas are right and they're exactly where you need to be. So let's talk about what your personal life purpose will be once you kind of stop hiding and continue down this path of karmic release. So you got the moon, the magician, and green Terra in reverse for your personal life purpose. If you know anything about tarot, you already know that you have three major arcana cards on the board. So I can see that you're going to be a fairly powerful manifester. In this lifetime, you're meant to build up your intuition and trust that you can jump because you no longer need the safety net. It's totally okay for you to take risks in this lifetime. Release your ego and what you perceive as unmet desires and get back in alignment with your higher self. You're learning to work smarter and not harder by trusting your inner voice or higher self. The goal in this lifetime is not to be perfect. The goal in this lifetime is to learn that there's no need to wait for everything to unfold exactly as you see fit. Just embrace the unknown and know that you can have it all if you just let the universe bring it back to you in a way that is most likely to be better for you than you had even planned it out anyways. So these are some really intense cards, and I'm really excited to hear how this is resonating with you and to see what you end up doing in your lifetime because I have a feeling it's going to be big, big, big. All right, globally, what you're going to be doing for the earth, the Seven of Pentacles and the Lion. So, on a global scale, I imagine you're quite good at service to others already. I wouldn't be surprised if you have Virgo in your sun, moon, or rising, or maybe you're like a Virgo north or south node person, because a lot of these cards ring true of Virgo. So, I think you're probably very good at service to others already and helping others, and you're already very generous. But what you're meant to do is sort of spread that generosity and make other people have a generous heart. You come off as a little bit aloof sometimes, and because you're quiet, you're quiet and you're serious, so I think you may intimidate people from time to time, but really you're just a very, very keen observer. People have probably told you that you have this quiet strength about you, and you have this way of inspiring others to give back. And in turn, you teach them that they can receive a lot of abundance from that themselves. So, yeah, you're going to do some really great things as a light worker in this world. So, here's what your guides want you to know: the Knight of Wands in reverse and Lakshmi in reverse. I think for some of you, you may be looking at a religion that you've either been practicing for years or a religion that you grew up in, and it's kind of not serving your higher self anymore, and you're not finding as many truths in it as you once did, or possibly some of those traditions of that religion that you've been practicing are just not helping you anymore, not pushing you towards your spiritual path anymore. That I think it's now time for you to embrace some different spiritual practices. Don't be afraid to try out new religions or religious ideals, and definitely add those practices that you find in different religions to your religious practices if it makes sense to you. Remember, there's no law saying that you can't integrate multiple religions and their practices together. Your guides want you to start tracking your thoughts to see if you're spending more time thinking about thoughts of gratitude or if you notice that your thoughts are tending towards thoughts of lack. It's important to be aware that your thoughts in this time are especially strong in creating your reality, especially because you have this magician moon combo. You can really ramp your intuition together with whatever you want to manifest and create things fairly quickly right now if you would like to. So pay attention to those thoughts because those thoughts shape our reality. The last thing I want to do is talk about what you can do right now to sort of start walking down your life path. And you got the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Tower card in reverse. So another major arcana. So your guides are really, really trying to tell you that it's important for you to focus on your life path right now. Time to move out of your hidey hole of the hermit and back into the uncomfortable change that is around the corner. I know your intuition is picking up that change is coming to you, and that might be very scary to you, especially if you are a Virgo. Virgo is a mutable sign, but I With a lot of my Virgo friends, I notice that they really just like things to go traditionally the way they've always been. And feeling that changes in the air can be a little bit scary for them from time to time. Shift your focus back to your spiritual path and reevaluate it and see if it's helping you out at this time. Once you do that and you take into account all the new things that you're learning, I think you're going to find that you are inadvertently going to start healing some of that past trauma that's been kind of keeping you held back and hidden from the world for quite some time. I hope this resonates with you and I hope this helps you moving forward. If it does, comment down below to tell me what things you're manifesting right now and like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any of my other videos that I'm uploading, and I will see you guys. Bye. Hi, group number 5, or the Scattergories group. This is your life purpose reading. I wanted to start off by talking about some of the strengths that you already have in moving towards your life purpose. And the first card here is the Seven of Wands in reverse. You already are very good at embracing all different cultures and religions. You're great at lifting up those around you, and you can really understand people no matter how different they might be from you. A hidden strength that you may not be aware of is the cosmic egg. You already have the power to help people understand how we are all connected. You are aware that you are more than just your body or this one lifetime, and you're a part of something that's much larger. You have the ability to grasp very complicated spiritual topics. So, what might be blocking you from really exploring that strength is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. You're afraid of digging into these topics for some reason, and maybe it's because you were taught that it was wrong to dig into spiritual gifts or to look into the occult, and so you sort of hold this fear of, well, this thing this person is saying rings true for me, but it's not what I was told to believe, so I don't know if I want to move forward in learning about it. Or maybe you're just afraid of your own potential. You know that you could be the type of person who can really get connected to other dimensions or spirit guides, and that kind of power sort of scares you. And so you've been keeping your distance from it. And if you are afraid, before you learn any more about spirituality, I urge you to do some grounding work on yourself through root chakra activities. You could eat some root veggies or walk around barefoot outside. Creating things from pieces of nature or just spending time in nature in general will help root you and will make you feel much more confident before exploring these other spiritual topics. And it will kind of ease your concerns you may have. Here's a way that you can start building on your strengths right now, the starfish. You've kind of gotten swept up in making sure that you fit in with the crowd and embracing the ideas of others so that they feel heard and accepted, that you've kind of lost the deeper meaning of what you believe and what you're accepting. If you're putting your dreams or thoughts aside right now for others, it's time to stop doing that. Express your thoughts and gifts so that the world can learn and understand the complex topics that honestly come to you very, very naturally. We need your intelligence right now, and we need you to help us sort some things out. So please, please stop assuming that other people are going to teach you what you need to know and realize that you are the great teacher that we need. So let's talk about your life purpose. This is what you personally were put here in this lifetime to accomplish for yourself and for your soul. So you got the Five of Wands and the Great Goddess. It's time to stop playing by the rules of good or bad or right or wrong and instead define success by what can benefit the collective. Treat others the way you want to be treated and realize that though branching out from these old societal constraints may cause some arguments or some tensions in your old relationships, look at those people as if they were a reflection of a part of yourself instead of the enemy. Try to listen above their pain to the root cause of the pain, and then continue to hold on to what's true for you. Don't be easily swayed by those around you, because it's inevitable once we sort of change our mindset on things that those that were once close to us are going to have a hard time assimilating those new personality traits we've picked up with who they knew us to be before. As far as your global life purpose or what you're here to do for the world on a larger scale, the Four of Pentacles in reverse and the gazelle. Your purpose is to help others also leave the fear of exploring the real truth behind their religion and the real truth behind what they actually believe in this life. You will help people be able to buck the former systems of those that came before them and help them to establish their own voice and raise up the collective as well. You will be able to help ease the fear of those who see the occult, esoteric practices, or topics and witchcraft as something that's considered devilish, and actually help them to find the true thread amongst many different belief systems and how we're all really not that much different in what we believe. Diving into psychic gifts does not make you more prone to negative energies, but in fact, when done correctly and when done with good intentions and once we protect ourselves, it can actually help nourish the soul and deepen the meaning of the existing spiritual practices that we already have. So here's what your guides want to tell you in today's reading. The King of Swords and Shakti reversed. Your guides want you to know that the time for continuing to just learn and learn and learn has passed, and it's time for you to start applying what you have learned and what you've gained spiritually. You may think that you're not ready, but the world really needs to hear your voice now. Your guides want you to know that if you speak your truth about your new spiritual alignment and some people shrink away from that, that they are going to continue to love and support you. You'll find your tribe that supports you too. It's time to co-create with your guides and not fear them. So here's something that you can do now to help you walk towards your life purpose path, and that's the world in reverse. Your spiritual connection has become stagnant lately, and it's time to try something new to shake up what you typically do instead of the same old, same old. Remember, doing the same thing repetitively and hoping for new results is the definition of insanity. So make sure if you feel an urge to try something new or learn something new, you definitely jump on that opportunity. I think that's just confirmation of what they have said before. These are all the messages I have for you, group number 5. If this resonates with you, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. I'd love to see what new practices you're integrating into your spiritual life. Like this video and don't forget to subscribe. That way you can be notified whenever I upload something new. Hi, pile number 6. This is your life purpose pick a card reading. I want to start off by talking about the strengths that you already have currently to move towards your life purpose. And the first one is the Four of Swords and the Ace of Swords reversed. So these two combined are telling me that you are really great at taking care of yourself. You're also good at putting up your boundaries and saying no when something makes you anxious. You are likely not often tricked a second time by people in your life, but something I'd like to offer as wisdom that I see here is that you want to be sure that you're not letting fear turn into hatred and holding on to that hatred and letting it poison your happiness. So a strength you may be unaware of is the black egg. You're a great public speaker. You can connect really well with your inner truth. You mean what you say and you say what you mean. You're both a great listener as well as a strong speaker, which is very rare. Usually people tend to favor one or the other. So this is what could be blocking that gift that you have, the Emperor in reverse. You may have had a teacher, a parent, or some other adult in the past that's taught you some, what I'd like to call untruths, for lack of a better term. They told you that the world was a certain way or that you had to fit into the world by doing a certain thing. Even though that didn't feel particularly true for you when they said it, you're still kind of carrying out this life that they laid out for you. It might be time to examine your truth. Even if an authority figure or an expert says something, you still should go and do your own research, and you still should connect to your higher self to see if it rings true for you. Here's something that you can do to utilize your strengths now to help you in moving forward towards your life purpose, and that's the Panther. You're going to have some tough times ahead. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. These are going to happen to you in unexpected ways, but it's with the intention of pushing your life back on a path that rings true with your life purpose. So if you've been experiencing a lot of chaos or upheaval lately, it's kind of the universe's way of pushing you to listen to you and listen to your inner truth. It's possible that you're going to be experiencing some of your biggest fears during this time, but during these challenging times, I would urge you to try to find the purpose behind it all. Look back and see where you were forced to leave, what you were forced to believe behind, and why you might have been forced to leave those things behind. Remember, your guides always have a reason for what they're choosing to do. All right, now that we know some of your inner strengths and sort of like have some context for what's going on here, let's talk about what your personal life purpose is, or what your soul has come here on this earth to accomplish. And that's the Two of Swords and Aphrodite. For this life, you're claiming your inner truth and you're supposed to be falling in love with life again. The reason why we choose to come into this existence is because we want to experience earthly pleasures. We want to experience food and sex and all the great things that the physical body can experience. And so right now, you're learning to love all of those things and to remember how creative and how expressive you were prior to coming into this lifetime. Remember how good it felt when you were younger and it was like the whole world was laid out in front of you and you had so many choices and so many options? That's still available to you now. So you're learning to kind of tune out the outside world and know that you can't rely on it to be steady and controlled. Instead of trying to control everything and make sure everything's steady, tune into your internal wisdom and allow your internal wisdom to help you move through the chaos of life. And until you do that, you're just going to see more and more chaos present itself in a way to help you be able to tune out that chaos and tune into your inner self. As far as like globally, what you're supposed to do for the world, it's the Five of Pentacles reversed, the Ace of Wands, and the Sea Serpent. So you pulled a lot of cards in a lot of categories. So your guides are very chatty, which is a good thing. I like that. You're here to help remind others of their own passions by embracing your passions. You'll teach others that it's okay to express their true inner nature and how to recover from spiritual poverty that maybe an adult or an authority figure put them in prior to them coming to you. You will provide people with new opportunities for growth. I think you're going to be helpful in assimilating people to the idea of how magical the world can be and helping them not to see it as such a negative or to see it as like a cuckoo woo woo thing to believe in and more of a realistic based idea. So here's what your guides want to say to you right now. The Three of Wands reversed and the goddess Saraswati reversed. So they're saying you may feel like you're being haunted by your past now, and it's kind of limiting your foresight. Right now, you only have part of the story, and it's dimming your passion. Your guides want to ask you to work on one of your passions at this time and dive into it and keep practicing this over and over again until you feel comfortable in that one particular thing before you move on to the next thing. Spend some time in meditation so that you can see more clearly what information you are missing right now. The very last thing I wanted to talk about is what you can do in order to start walking your life purpose right now. And that's the Nine of Wands. Your mind is limiting your spiritual connection. Honestly, I think you're just feeling pretty burnt out right now because you're going through this huge amount of karmic healing. And that amount of karmic healing that I'm seeing you're dealing with can really knock a person on their behind for a little bit. So it's okay to take some time to restore yourself again and just focus on being still and meditative practices. If you have the financial ability to, you could go see a Reiki practitioner, but I know there's a lot of free videos on YouTube that you can kind of start the Reiki healing process with, and that could be good for you before you start diving headfirst into a bunch of different topics you want to explore. That's all the messages I'm getting for you. If you resonated with this pile, go ahead and leave me a comment down below and like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified each time I release a video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.